Hello and welcome everybody back to another episode of Sports Talk. I am Alex Weister, and in today's episode we are going to be talking about some NFL predictions for Week 1. However, I will not be making the predictions. I have not introduced you guys to my friend here. His name is Kevin. Kevin will be the one making our predictions from here on out through the rest of the season, weeks 1 through 18 and into the playoffs. So, give a warm welcome to Kevin as he will be with us along this NFL season. But in this episode, I'll be making my own predictions for the awards for this year because this is still my show at the end of the day and you're just here along for the ride. You cannot take over. But before we get into that, I would like to say go follow me on Twitter at Alex Weiser. It is spelled the same way as this YouTube channel. I'll be posting updates from high school football scores in my area, tweeting about any sport that I'm watching at the time. It's a good time over there. Go on over and check it out. Now, without further ado, let us get into the scores. You ready, Kevin? I think Kevin's ready. Let's get into the scores. He has them here behind this pillow. Starting off, he has the Buccaneers winning this first Thursday night game. And I believe that Kevin actually has a score prediction for that game. Kevin says he has the Bucks winning by 10. Very interesting, Kevin. I would have kind of expected them to win by a little bit more, considering this Tampa Bay team is loaded, of course. They had all of their starters returning, so they're looking to make another big run at the playoffs this year. Next up, let's see who Kevin has winning the next game. He has the Green Bay Packers beating the New Orleans Saints. That game, of course, taking place in Jacksonville. Now, I don't know how I feel about you picking against my team, Kevin, but it's his picks. He can do what he wants. Let's see what he's got next. The Atlanta Falcons, once again, picking something that I'm not going to be too thrilled with as they are my division rival. But once again, it is his predictions. I'm not going to diss it too hard. Alrighty, let's see what he's got for the next prediction. He has the Buffalo Bills beating the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I believe he also has another big prediction for this game. Okay. Kevin says this is his lock of the week, and he has the Bills winning by 14. He guarantees the Bills will be winning this game. It's a little bit of a bold prediction, Kevin. I could see the Steelers taking this one away from the Bills in a Week 1 stunner. But, of course, this is your prediction, so you make what you want. Let's see what we've got next up. The Minnesota Vikings beating the Cincinnati Bengals. I think that's actually a pretty good pick. We don't know what the Bengals are going to be like in Week 1. We don't know how Joe Burrow is going to be. Jamar Chase has been shaky, but of course many Bengals fans says he's going to be fine. So we'll see, but I still do agree with the pick of the Vikings winning this one. Let's see what his next one's going to be. The San Francisco 49ers over the Detroit Lions. I think that's a pretty good pick. Depending on who starts Week 1 for the Niners, I still think Jimmy G or Trey Lance starting, they will be able to take that one handily. As Detroit, we don't know how they're going to be with Jared Goff. I personally don't think they're going to be that great this year, so I can see the 49ers easily taking this one, especially with that good defense that they have over there. All right, let's see what his next pick is. The Tennessee Titans over the Arizona Cardinals. I think that's a pretty good pick, a pretty safe one, as the Cardinals, they did have a great year last year, but this Titans team is a force over in the AFC, and I could easily see them winning this game close or by a mile behind the legs of Derrick Henry. Alrighty, let's see what his next prediction is. The Seattle Seahawks over the Indianapolis Colts. I think that's a pretty easy pick to make. I mean, the Indianapolis Colts last year, I may have picked them in an upset. My bad. Yes, I don't know what Kevin would have picked, but I would have taken them in an upset last year, possibly, because Phillip Rivers was able to lead that team pretty decently, but Carson Wentz being out with injury, I personally don't know who their quarterback is going to be this year starting off, so I can't really see them getting any sort of upset against the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks will roll to an easy win, and Kevin agrees with me on that one. Alrighty, let's see what his next pick is. The LA Chargers against the Washington football team. That is an interesting pick there. I personally think that Washington may take this game. I mean, Washington has a great defense. They were able to make that playoff push, and they were able to fight against the Buccaneers there in the playoffs. So the Chargers winning this one is an interesting pick. Of course, I can see the side of that argument. We don't know how the Chargers offense is going to leap this year behind Justin Herbert. Many believe it's going to take a massive leap behind Justin Herbert. I think that the Chargers could win this game as well, but I personally have Washington winning. But it is Kevin's show. He has the Chargers winning. That is his official pick. Let's look at the next one. The Carolina Panthers over the New York Jets. The Sam Darnold revenge game. I think that's a good pick as well, but I don't think Sam Darnold is going to be the star of that game. Of course, Christian McCaffrey coming back from injury. I think he'll have a big game against the Jets, and I could see Carolina winning this one big time. Let's look at his next pick. The Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that's another good pick as they are taking on the Texans. I personally cannot see the Texans winning a game this year as their organization is in shambles. I can't see a direction for them as, I mean, look at their running back group. They got like 4 running backs that are average for them. Who's starting week 1 at quarterback? I don't think it's going to be Deshaun Watson, David Mills. I don't see that team winning a game this year, so I think Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence getting his first win in an NFL regular season is a good pick, and Kevin agrees with me on it. Let's see what his next pick is. The Cleveland Browns over the Kansas City Chiefs. Wow. That many may think is an upset, but I mean, the Browns coming into this year are actually really, really good. That defense, of course, they drafted well. They're going to be able to build a chemistry in the offseason with this offseason now, unlike last year where they didn't have one. And I could see the Browns taking this game just like Kevin does. And this is also, in my opinion, I think Kevin will share it, the game of the week. These are 2 powerhouses over in the AFC, and I'm intrigued that Kevin picked the Browns to win this one. Personally, I think the Chiefs might sneak it away, but it is going to be a fantastic game either way. Let's see what the next game is going to be. The New England Patriots beating the Miami Dolphins. And what's that? Oh, he has this as his upset of the week with the Patriots winning. I don't know how big of an upset that personally is, but the Patriots now starting Mac Jones at quarterback as they have gotten rid of Cam Newton. I could see them leading over the Dolphins to win this game. And I think it's going to be a good game overall. I mean, the Dolphins, they were great last year, shaky with Tua, but they were able to put some wins on the board, and they looked pretty good. So I think the Patriots winning this one, I guess it's an upset according to Kevin, so we're going to roll with it. The Denver Broncos over the New York Giants. I think this game could go either way personally. Kevin has the Broncos winning it. Of course, the Giants getting Saquon Barkley back from injury last year. Who knows what he's going to be like, of course, coming off of that nasty injury he had. The Broncos, that quarterback group, we don't know. Apparently, Teddy Bridgewater is going to be starting week 1. We've seen what Teddy can do. He's not really going to lose you a game, but will he do enough to win you a game? That's to be seen. So it's going to be an interesting game to watch. It could go either way, but, of course, Kevin has the Broncos winning it. The LA Rams over the Chicago Bears. I think that's a fair pick. I mean, Justin Fields isn't starting week 1. Of course, Andy Dalton, I don't think he's going to be able to lead the Chicago Bears that well. If Justin Fields was starting this game, maybe Kevin makes a different pick there. Who knows? Personally, if Justin Fields was starting, I may have picked the Bears to win this one. But Kevin picked the Rams. I think that's fair. Matt Stafford leading this offense. Many think they're going to take a big leap this year now that they have him, but that has yet to be seen. We have one more game left. Let us see what Kevin is picking. The Baltimore Ravens over the Las Vegas Raiders in the first Monday Night Football of the season. Oh, what's that? Okay. He has the Ravens winning by 17. That's a pretty big margin there, Kevin. But, of course, the Ravens are well known for playing really well in week 1, as we've seen the past 2 years. So I don't think it's too far-fetched for him to say that the Ravens are going to dominate Las Vegas Raiders in Monday Night Football. Alrighty, now it is time for me to take over, Kevin. Thank you very much for your picks. And of course, he will be making the picks next week for week 2. And of course, I will be here giving you his picks as Kevin is a little shy and doesn't like to speak on camera. Alrighty, getting into the awards for this season. Starting off with MVP, I have Patrick Mahomes winning it. I don't think it's far-fetched to say that Patrick Mahomes is going to win MVP this season. Coming off of that Super Bowl loss, I think he's going to come into the season with a little bit of a chip on his shoulder and want to make it back and want to win. Of course, they revamped that offensive line. Their skill positions is still amazing. I think Patrick Mahomes can have another great year and win MVP. Next up, I have Offensive Player of the Year going to Alvin Kamara. Now, some may think I am biased because I am a Saints fan, but I think it is very fair to say Alvin Kamara can win Offensive Player of the Year. Looking who's starting at quarterback, Jameis Winston, it's going to be a year where, starting off, I think we may give him a little bit of a light load and let Kamara take the ball and just run with it. And I could see him putting up some big numbers throughout the year to help ease the load for Jameis Winston. Now, could somebody else win it? Very easily. I mean, there's a lot of great, talented players throughout the league. You could see a quarterback win it. You could see Derrick Henry winning it. I mean, I still think it's fair to say that Alvin Kamara could win it. I mean, the offensive line for the Saints is still great. I could see us shifting to more of a West Coast offense, outside runs, play action passes. I think Alvin Kamara is going to have a big year this year. Next up, for Defensive Player of the Year, I have Myles Garrett winning it. Somebody has to finally take this award away from Aaron Donald. He has won it too many times. And I personally think that Myles Garrett's also just going to have a fantastic year this year. Many have said for a while that he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. And I think this year, with that Browns upgraded offense, that he could easily win this award. Of course, Aaron Donald might not make it easy for him, but with that Browns offense, if they can win big this year and he can have some great games, I could very easily see him winning Defensive Player of the Year. Next up, let's look at Defensive Rookie of the Year. I have Micah Parsons, the linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys. He has been an amazing person to watch in Hard Knocks, but not just his personality, his play on the field, he has been great for the Cowboys. Of course, there's the other linebacker, Zaven Collins, who has been playing really well this year so far in the preseason, but I have Micah Parsons winning it. Next up, Offensive Rookie of the Year, and this is the final award that I have. I have it going to Kyle Pitts, the tight end for the Atlanta Falcons. I think Kyle Pitts is going to be the number 2 option in that Atlanta offense behind Calvin Ridley. And I think Atlanta could implement him very well throughout the entire season. I can see him having a very impressive stat line going into the end of the year. We do have a good bunch of offensive talent coming into this. Of course, all of the quarterbacks, I mean, it's hard to pick any of those quarterbacks winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, any of them could just explode and have an amazing year, but that's yet to be seen. I could easily see any of the quarterbacks winning Offensive Rookie of the Year this year. I don't want to get that twisted, but just for the sake of a pick, I want to say Kyle Pitts because I believe he can have a huge year for Atlanta this year. Alrighty, everybody. Well, that is the show for today. This has been Sports Talk NFL Week 1 predictions and awards for the year. Of course, thank you, Kevin, for making your picks. He will be here with me next week giving me predictions. And, of course, I will be with you a little bit later on in the week giving you my Saints update after that Saints-Packers game, giving a recap of how the game went, what I thought was good, what I thought was bad, what they could fix. And we will go over what Kevin's prediction was in that episode as well. So stay tuned for that. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.